welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X-2. Last time we began our adventure. This time I touched the save point to save off screen and it just showed you what it does. Every time you touch the save point, you heal HP and MP for free, restore status effects from the ground. You can also board the airship and that kind of good stuff. Anyway, let's go into our menu here. First things first, take a look at our items. We have next to nothing right now. That's fine, we don't really need it. White magic. We can't do anything with this yet because we don't have the white mage dress sphere. And I'll go into what those are and how it all works shortly here. But eventually we will be able to use it out of battle, and that basically means we're going to learn a little bit of white magic, but not too much. Equiption. We start with a garment grid. Basically what a garment grid is it's a place where you can put job classes to be very, very simple. And how it works, let's go into the garment grid submenu here. Just ignore that. Is we have our different job classes here. A gunner, which is the default one for Yuna. Warrior, which is the default one for Pain. Songstress, which is the one we just got from the battle in the previous episode, and Thief, which is the default one for Riku. And the idea here is you start off at one point on the grid, and you can move one space, either one up or one down. Or if, say, if we're here, we could move to there, or we could move to there, or we could move to there, or we could move to there. That's the idea behind it. Later on, we'll get other garment grids, which will give us innate abilities and abilities that we can learn as we move across different gates on the grids, and we'll get into that in more detail once we actually get to it. But basically, a garment grid is what allows us to change into different job classes. We can actually do that in battle, which is something we couldn't do before, and it's an interesting mechanic that I don't mind at all. First things first, everybody gonna be a thief right now. Now, take a look at the items we got. Guards Against Darkness raises HP by 20% and raises MP by 40%. Well, none of these are particularly useful, but I'm gonna give you that, and I'm gonna give you the Dark Proof, and sure, we'll give you HP. Sure, why not? Just for now. One of the things that I don't like about this game, considering how much menuing we'll be doing by the end, just look at how much time we end up having to wait around for things to pop up. It's not really that bad yet, but it gets longer and longer, it seems, throughout the course of the game. It's really kind of tedious. Abilities. Let's go to our abilities submenu. Every time we use an ability, when we're in a job class, we gain AP for those abilities. In this case, you can see we have different things. Item Hunter is what we want to work on with you. Same with you. We already learned Pilfer Gil because she was locked into a thief early on. Borrowed Time I don't need. Item Hunter I would like. And you're also going to work on Item Hunter. Item Hunter is pretty much the only ability on the Thief that I really need. The only other one that would be nice... Can you learn it? No. You cannot right now. Sticky Fingers would be nice, but it's not required. First Strike would be nice, but it's not required. I have a substitute for that. It's much easier. And there's only one other ability. I think it's called Steel Soul or something like that. Or no, Steel Will. That one would be useful, but it takes too much AP in order to get, so it's not worthwhile for me. So everyone's going to work on Item Hunter for a little while. Songstress Dress Sphere. Take a good look at what it is, because we're never going to use it again. Well, we might. It could be a strategy in like a boss fight here or there, but basically, it's useless. It doesn't have an attack. It's all about buffing, debuffing, crowd control, that kind of thing. It's not really useful in how we set things up. Why do you not have SOS Protect on you? Could have swore I could learn that off the hop. I will have to look into what I need in order to get SOS Protect, because that is the most important thing. Everyone needs to learn SOS Protect. There it is. Okay, I gotta learn Sentinel first. Okay. I don't know where in the game they tell you this, but later in the game we'll have a different dress sphere, the ultimate dress sphere, that allows us to learn some additional abilities. I don't think it ever is mentioned in the game, but you must learn SOS Protect on the Warrior Dress Sphere with every character in order to have access to all of your abilities on that one. And I will talk about that more way later in the game when we get there. But basically, that's that. Gunner. Gunner used to be really, really good in Final Fantasy X-2, not International. In the International version, the only real use it had got completely nerfed, that being the catnip trigger happy combo. I will talk about that when we get to a point where it would actually matter. But basically, because that happened, there's no real need to ever use this job class ever again. So take a good long look at the Gunner job class. We're never going to use it. All right. Warrior, so you're set on Sentinel, good. You need to be set on Sentinel, good. Thief, you're on Item Hunter. So yeah, everyone's going to be Thieves for now, just because Thieves are really good early game. Accessories just shows you a list of all the accessories you have that aren't currently being equipped. I don't have any that aren't being equipped, so there's nothing there. It's kind of a useless slot because you never go into there throughout the course of the game. Here shows you all the different dress spheres you have. There have been some new ones added to the International or HD versions of the game. And the creature menu, we'll go into that later. Party members will go into that later because that has something to do with the creature menu. Config. Sphere changes. Put that to off because it's so much faster. ATB. Typically in JRPGs, I like to set it on wait because I like to think about what I'm doing. But early on, it really doesn't matter, so I'm just going to leave it on active. By the time we reach the end of the game, the last 20%, Chapter 5, I will be putting it on wait because it's pretty much required. ATB speed, we'll put that on fast for now. We may want to change that later depending on what kind of super bosses we're fighting. Cursor, I would leave that to default for now, but we'll be making good use of memory before too long. A help window, I think that one actually needs to stay on, or doesn't need to, but it's useful to keep it on. It'll like show you like what your ability does and stuff like that. I don't need vibrations, subtitles are on, subtitle names are on, guide map. Yeah, it's a mini map. You definitely want to keep that. Anyway, that's what we can do there. If you hold the circle button, unit can jump. Okay. Yeah, they just randomly add that, and we haven't had jumping since like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, but yeah, here's jumping. First person we want to talk to over here is Buddy. And we have to relearn
brother, our old friends.
Albed all
Buddy
over
says
again.
he was aboard Sid's airship with us 2 years ago. When I told him I didn't remember, he seemed disappointed.
Aww. And for talking to him, we get the Albed primer. We start learning Albed all over again. It's kind of tedious. Next thing we want to do is talk to Brother. We have to kind of turn, talk to him.
Has my talking gotten better?
He really has improved quite a bit.
Still an idiot, though.
He told me that he practiced, just so that he could talk with me more.
Yeah, so they're telling you about it again. You can go digging for Albed primers in the Beaconell Desert. We'll get into more about that later. And we get 1, 2, and 3 of them from him. The number of...
Let's go! Party!
God, I hate this guy. What the hell? Like, he just randomly starts being an idiot, and he's still an idiot. Festival List is a new dress sphere added to the International version. Abilities. Somebody. Festival List. In my test run, I used it for about 5 seconds, and you're not even going to see that much. It's slightly different depending on the character. Each character will have some slightly different abilities with this particular dress sphere and a couple others. I'll try and mention them when we get there. But this one is very much random. I believe most of these abilities will either use like water. It'll either use water, Watera, Waterga, or 2 Watergas. And so it's like, okay. okay. It's random. I don't really need it. There are some new status effects added to this game. Slow, we already know what that does. Pointless, I believe, removes your ability to do anything and you get no experience? I think it's no experience. It might not be the same as not being able to do anything. I really don't pay a lot of attention to the status effects in this game. It really doesn't matter. But anyway, Festivalists, we're not going to use them. It just doesn't matter. You can see the abilities are a little bit different over here. They have different names, different skills. But yeah, for the most part, I don't need it. The only thing you might want to do on there is pick up the spinner ability for confusion. I have a separate job class that I'm going to be using to get confusion because you are going to want it. Okay, next one we're going to do is talk to
Having
Riku.
fun? You bet. It all began when I saw this sphere of you. At least, it looked like you. I couldn't say for sure. I thought I might find more spheres like it if I joined the Gullwings, so I did. Oh, in case you're wondering, the Gullwings are sphere hunters, and sphere hunters are, well, this. We fly all over Spira. I'm really enjoying myself.
Glad to hear it. For a while there, I was starting to feel like a kidnapper.
Awesome.
Don't be silly.
Riku the Kidnapper. Of course, anyone, you know, she kidnapped would want to stay with her. But I'll leave you to guess why that is. What was I saying about... Oh yeah, one of the things I really like about it is they used one of the things that they used in Final Fantasy X, and that's somewhat of a framing narrative with the overall, with Yuna basically talking like she's talking to Titus. And I don't know, the narration I think works reasonably well here. Not as well as in the previous game. It doesn't have the same use as it did in the previous game, but I like its use here, and I think it does quite well in what it's supposed to do.
This is Pain. I look up to her as a sphere hunter, and also as a friend. I still don't know her very well. She's not exactly the talkative type. I heard she joined the Gullwings shortly before I did. Riku doesn't know much about her either.
What now?
Nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna do no, yes, no, yes, no, no. Okay, so we talked to everybody except for...
I know everything.
No, you don't!
Shinra's an Al Bhed. He's a real whiz kid.
Okay, Shinra is annoying. First things first, we could go into Creature Creator. I'm going to save that for a little bit because we don't really need to do anything with it right now, and I can't beat the enemies in there until I gain a couple of levels. So first things first, Treasure Spheres. I'm going to note each of the people we've talked to today, Buddy, Brother, Riku, Pain, and Shinra, all give us completion percentage points. We must talk to all of them. I don't 100% know if you need to do it in this order, but that's what the walkthrough claims, so I'm going to follow that. Next thing we need to do for completion is we need to view this treasure sphere. All treasure spheres must be viewed in this particular screen.
I'm not sorry. I haven't done anything wrong. I know you're listening. If she was your girl, what would you do? How can you blame me for trying to use your weapon? It was the only way I could save the summoner.
Kinda looks like Titus.
What would you do if you were me?
Clothes are different though.
Let me out!
The thing that I really like about how they've done this is they've added the grainy filter so it's hard to see. They've kept the same voice actor, but he's modified his voice a little bit. Just enough to, you know, make you think maybe he's playing a different character. And I like the way that's done. All of my icons are going to show up as Xbox 360 controller icons, like the done in the bottom right corner there. B, of course, being circle on a PlayStation controller. So there's that. All right, so we've talked to you. Next thing. Let's go down this way. Yeah, this hallway. I hate this hallway. First things first, go to the cabin. We can talk to Barkeep. Yes, that's actually his name. And the autosave feature, particularly in this game, even more so than Final Fantasy X, is
Mishu,
really
now what
useful.
can I do for you?
Oh God, I
Barkeep.
hate Harpellos.
Hello. No one knows his real
Oh.
name, so everyone just calls him Barkeep.
You could ask his
Brother
name.
took him in, and now he works aboard the airship.
He's been kidnapped. Oh God. Okay, the Gull Store is a place where you can buy stuff if you need to buy stuff. For the most part, we don't really need to buy anything. I'm gonna buy 3, 3, 3, and 3, and that should be more than enough just so that I can heal status effects if they come up. I don't think they will,
Thank you.
but
What can I do for you?
yeah, shut up. In every chapter, and this game is separated into 5 chapters, you must rest in the cabin.
Sleep tight.
You must select the option in order to get it to work. This, again, is for completion percentage, as was talking to that guy there. You don't have to shop in order to get completion percentage, but anyway. There we go. It's required to do it 5 times at least throughout the game, so just make sure you're kind of aware of that. If you hold the circle button, you can jump down there, saves you a little bit of backtracking. I have no idea what you just.
Report to the bridge.
I could go there, but before we do that, let's go to the engine room. This is not required for completion percentage, but it's free items, so let's go and pick up those. So, oop, we can jump off there as well. There's a thing down here, but I don't think there's actually anything we can do here. It's just like the screen ends down there. It's kind of weird. But at the start of each chapter, you'll be able to come back here and pick up 4 treasure chests that will be respawn at the start of each chapter, and they'll have some different items in them. They're nothing extraordinary, but it's nice to get free items, so we'll pick them up. Now, I will be trying to get as many items as I can throughout the course of the LP, but some are locked behind, you know, you pick this option to get 100% story, or you pick this option, you don't get 100% story, but you get an item later in the game, kind of thing. Let's go to the bridge now, and we need to talk to Buddy, and then we'll go to the next part of the plot. Now, the way that this game works is you get percentage points in, well, basically you get, like this guide here, it'll say story completed 1%. We may not have exactly 1.1%. We might have 1.2%, 1.4%. It goes up in increments of 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And there's no way to show that integer, that decimal place. So the only way to know 100% for sure which percentage, you know, if you've reached, you know, got everything up until that point, is to get to wherever would be a hard, full, whole number without a decimal place. So if we, you know, do another plot and get, say, 2.6%, that will, you know, the next thing in the plot, it gives us 2.6%. Right now, we currently have, I think, 3.2, or 3.4, sorry. So we'll end up with 6%. So like if I save over this one here, it shows 3%, but I actually have 3.4%, assuming I did everything right. I would highly recommend using like 10 scratch saves for this, and then, you know, make a separate file every time you get to a checkpoint, you know, at 6%, at, you know, 9% or whatever it is. And do that throughout the entire game, which will make things a lot easier for you.
Treasure sphere waves. They're coming from those ruins they found at Gagazet.
What are treasure sphere waves?
Cut up! Gagazet!
I have no idea what that is. Anyway, here we have no choice. We are forced to go to Gagazet, and that's the only place we're allowed to go. So we're gonna go there.
Sacred Mount Gagazet, silent guardian of Xanarkand, city of the dead. When the faith disappeared, the clouds enshrouding the mountain began to thin and disperse. revealing long-forgotten ruins among its peaks.
Cool. Oh, by the way,
The rocks are floating!
this isn't the same airship
Don't tell
from
me we
before.
gotta climb up that thing.
No worries. I'll take you to the top.
You could take us to the top, but you won't. That is, I guess, close to the top, but not exactly the top. Because we have to climb through half this dungeon. Ooh, treasure. Uh-oh, vertigo. Oh boy.
Yuna!
Ooh, bye-bye, Yuna. Guess where the camera shot's going next?
What's your status?
Yep, exactly.
Terrific is not a word. Say disastrous, like the rest of Spira.
Shut up, brother. Yeah, this game spends a lot of time objectifying the girls. Yes, please.
That'd be great!
Can you stop struggling and pull her up?
Oh!
Yeah, basically this game is about putting the girls in skimpy outfits because that's more half of what the feature of changing job classes is in this game is they change their costumes.
That was a little close.
Unfortunately, they don't change them on screen. It would be... Shut up.
We're here. Everything's fine now.
Situation normal,
Keep an
right?
eye on Rico.
You got it.
Okay. I think she's fine. She's not the one who half fell off the edge. But yeah, unfortunately, when you change job classes, it changes their portrait here. You know, like, take a look at Yuna there. And if I give her, say, that one, you know, her portrait there changes, but it won't change what her sprite looks like on the map, which is somewhat unfortunate. Anyway, let's go this way. And yeah, they'll give you a jumping tutorial. Hold the B button or the circle button. If you fail to press it, you'll lose your balance. So if you walk up without holding it, she just does that. You don't actually fall over the edge. But yeah, if you hold the thing, you can jump. Anyway, climbing tutorial. Again, hold the same button. Now over here, get the next thing. They're going to go try and jump. Here we're not going to want to jump, and they're going to give us a tutorial for this too. Certain places not pressing you allow to jump down to get treasure. I like treasure. And then you can hold the B button to get back up. And yeah, they add a little bit of a mechanic there that's kind of weird. Kind of doesn't
we're not
fit.
getting
But...
across this way.
Let's find another route.
Okay, sure thing. Alright, so let's do that here and hit the save point. And that's going to do it for this one. When I said use scratch files, I meant it. Basically, we're just going to keep going down and use like 10 scratch files and overwrite them in order, 30 through down to 21 and then cycle back through over and over and over again. And then every time, you hit one of those solid points, make a new file. That's what I did in my test run. It worked until the end, then it didn't. But that had something to do with something. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it's there. But anyway, that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Again, like I was saying, if there's anything that you don't understand about how I'm handling the game so far, or tutorials, or how certain things work, let me know and I'll try and do better in explaining them. What I think I'm going to do is we're going to record the first week of episodes, and then I'll do a week where I'll put up either some Donkey Kong or some Link to the Past or something like that. Give you guys a chance to post some questions in regards to this game, just so that we can see if there's any issues to kind of feel out. And then I'll be able to address those issues before recording kind of the following week, instead of, going straight from episode 5, recording the whole week, and then trying to edit those all and then record the following week so that I'm keeping up and I'm not missing out on episodes. But I think that will give us time to get things all figured out ahead of time, so we're not off-putting things or missing things out or anything like that. But like I said, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.